Foreign Minister Lavrov and I talked about that, and we talked about the other options that are available. Options of dialogue, options of various contact meetings that could take place, options of international legal remedy, options of joint multilateral efforts that would protect minorities, UN options, international human rights organization options, many options for the ways in which any challenges to the safety or security or rights of people could be addressed. We are certainly prepared to join in an effort to protect those rights, whether they be the rights of Ukrainian living in the West, a Ukrainian living in the East, somebody of Russian language and Russian descent who might feel threatened. All minorities, all people should be protected. Foreign Minister Lavrov and I agreed that we are going to stay in touch in the next days on Ukraine, as well as on the other issues of concern which we are working on, Syria, Iran, and other challenges of mutual concern. Before I close, I just want to reiterate what President Obama said in the Oval Office on Wednesday when he visited with Ukrainian Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk. The United States stands with the people of Ukraine in their desire to make their own choices about their future and to be able to live their lives in a unified, peaceful, stable, and democratic Ukraine. The President said clearly that is our only interest. That is what drives us. Not a larger strategy, nothing with respect to Russia directly. We are interested in the people of Ukraine having the opportunity to have their country's sovereignty and territorial integrity respected, as we would ask that to happen for any country. So I will be briefing Prime Minister Yatsenyuk shortly, as well as all of our colleagues and counterparts in the EU and the members of the contact group. As soon as I leave here, I will engage in those briefings, and I look forward to taking a couple of questions.
The first question is from Michael Gordon of the New York Times.
Mr. Secretary, as you noted, Russian troops are carrying out an extensive military exercise near Ukraine, and at the same time, the Russian Foreign Ministry said just today that the Kremlin reserves the right to protect what it calls compatriots' lives in Ukraine. Did you obtain a clear assurance from Mr. Lavrov that Russia would not use these forces to intervene in eastern Ukraine? As they have in Crimea, what did they say is the purpose of this exercise? And has Russia abided by its obligations to provide OSCE nations with timely and accurate information about the size of the exercise, the types of forces involved, the purpose of the exercise? Have they done that for this current exercise, and have they done that for the one immediate prior?
Well, let me answer the second part of the question first. I don't know whether or not they've made that notification. I've been wrapped up in these talks, and I've been wrapped up in other talks. So I'm not aware of whether or not that notification was made. But I can tell you, indeed, we talked about these exercises, and we talked about the level of troops that are deployed, where they're deployed, what the purpose is. And I raised very clearly the increased anxiety that is created within Ukraine as a consequence of this. And we talked
one of the big headlines, I want to just make sure that any viewers just joining us, as the Secretary of State speaks live in London, having just emerged from the U.S. Ambassador's residence there after a meeting with the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. One of the headlines is that the Russian president has indicated through his foreign secretary to the Secretary of State of the United States he is prepared to make absolutely no concessions whatsoever in these talks to try to resolve the Crimean conflict until at least the referendum is over. That's 2 days from now. In 2 days, Crimea is set to vote on whether it wants to secede and move back to the motherland, to Russia. There's about 60% of people there who are ethnically Russian, so it's likely that that would be what the vote would indicate. The problem is, Secretary of State has said that that vote will not be recognized. It's not legal. It's not effectively being recognized by Ukraine, and the United States is still standing by the government of Ukraine. And by the way, this comes after 6 hours of what the Secretary called frank and candid discussions with Sergei Lavrov. And it sounded as though the dictate was coming from Moscow in the way of President Putin's hard line. Nothing will change until 2 days from now when that referendum happens. So, perhaps also what was very significant was the suggestion that there will be consequences, and this from President Obama, there will be consequences if Russia does not change course. We don't know what those consequences will be, but apparently there will be some. Quick break, much more ahead on that missing flight.